Hi there, Corey from CSG Design Creations. Today we're going to try make some holiday resin coasters. We're going to combine two techniques, one being the flower bloom technique, and then another technique I have experimented with, which creates a dragon scale crackle effect. So let's dive in and get mixing. Okay, so we're going to mix up our resin here. I've put into smaller containers so that's easier to pour. I know that each of these coasters here takes 50 milliliters of resin each. We only want to fill them half full at this point. So if we go with 100 milliliters, that should be enough. So pour a little bit extra because measuring cup goes in 20s. So we'll get 60 milliliters of the hardener, which is the thin liquid. Okay, much easier with that. Okay. We'll put that over there. And bring it up to 120 now. And you guessed it, we're going to mix this on up. Make sure to scrape the edges here and then give it a good solid mix for 2 to 3 minutes. But you've watched me mix enough, you don't need to see this. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay, we are nicely well mixed up here. So for the effect we're going for, we're going to let this sit for a little bit while it thickens up. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, we're back. It's been about 25-30 minutes. The resin's still a little thin, but I want to get it pouring into the molds before it gets too thick. So let's just scrape this off for now. Get that wiped down. Okay, we're only going to fill these molds about half full. And the rest we're going to put into a cup to mix some white pigment in there. And the pigment we're using today is just a white mica powder from New Classic. Just make my life a tad bit easier. Don't want the white mica powder in the resin yet. Okay, so that looks like it's all well mixed up. And we're just gonna get it down into a Ziploc bag or a piping bag. whichever you're more comfortable with. And by cutting the cup down, that made it a lot easier to scrape the sides there. Okay. That. Okay, so we got that, so we're just going to make sure all the resin's down at the corner of that bag. And we're just going to give it a pinch and a twist. Okay, let's see how warm that is. 36.1. I don't think that's 100% accurate because just before I came back on camera, I checked the temperature and it was at 37. So this warm, we're just going to let that sit just a little bit more. What we do, let's clean up our mess. I'll probably have fast forwarded this part because you don't need to sit there watching me wait. Okay. I'm just going to take the tiniest little bit off. Oh, that's a little more than a tiny bit. Okay, so that's okay, so we're going to give this a shot now. Hopefully it's not too runny still. So the first one we're going to do is a clover. I'm just going to go nice and slow. Okay, now for Valentine's Day we'll try a heart. Okay, now Easter. Okay. Okay, and I guess Christmas. Okay. Let's just touch up any place where we think it needs a little bit more. Okay. And let's do a little bit of cleanup here. Should be able to push some of that in. Okay. We're going to let those sit and cure now. And then when we come back, we will do the background on these. So I'll see you in a couple hours. Okay, we're back. The resin has hardened, but it's not cured, so it's still soft. There's a little bit that I just poured out on the silicone. So, and I've pre-mixed it, so you don't have to watch me mixing again. We're gonna go with we're gonna try a couple different things here. So I'll just walk you along as I go. So for the shamrock, and yes, my lines, they bloomed exactly how we wanted them to. I should have probably used a bit thinner in a couple places, but that's all right. Live and learn. Okay, so we'll take some gold mica powder. We're just gonna drop it in there. Give that a mix. Okay. Now this is a homemade alcohol ink. We're gonna just put a couple drops. See how that makes it look. Okay. And we'll go with emerald green. Put those over there because, well, Christmas, green and gold. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in the one that's mixed with alcohol ink. Because the alcohol is lower density than the mica, it will try to rise up through the resin. And we're just going to be pouring straight in the center here. Okay. Then we're going to go with our gold. Give it a nice high pour. Okay. And now with our green. Okay, I know it doesn't look like much right now, but there is something we will be doing later. That's going to give it a interesting effect. So here I'm going to try something a little different. We're going to use, it's the red wine mica powder. We're actually going to put it in both of these. If I could scoop some. Okay. Mix that up. Okay. So we definitely got two different colors, but we are going to mix some isopropyl alcohol into this one. Let's get a different mixing stick. Okay. We're just going to start with the alcohol one. Move on to the non-alcohol one. Now, I've done this technique, like the one we saw on the shamrock, before with pretty good results, but we're changing up just the slightest bit. So I'm not 100% certain on what we'll actually end up seeing, except for red mica in this. Let's just try to scoop that out. Okay. So this one, once again, one of those alcohol inks that I made. And some purple mica. Actually, just gonna blend that. I tried to pick it up, it didn't. As I said, the resin is still a little sticky. I'm not horribly worried. That little bit of mica is going to blend a little with the yellowy orange we have here. And then we're going in with the purple. Okay. Okay, this, we're going to grab another cup, because I just thought how I want to do this. And it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't change my mind halfway through it on how I want to do something. So with green there. Go with some gold in this one. And let's go back to the green alcohol ink. Okay, we're going to pour that on. Let's go, that's a little thick. We'll put a couple drops of alcohol just to try to thin it up. I use way too much mica powder for that little bit of resin. Mix the green mica up. That is an appropriate amount of mica for resin. Put that in. Okay. Now here is the not so secret to getting the effect. Just clear resin. We'll try and make sure that we save enough for each of them. We want a high pour to try push things out. And I'm actually down at the level of the coasters, just seeing how full they're getting. Okay. And we'll let those set. I think I might actually leave this to see if we can sort of watch the reaction. I'll bring it a little closer. Apologize for shaky camera. I'm turning the wrong dials. We'll just turn down that ring light here. Just to try to get less highlight. Oh, and we don't want to forget, we do need to blow away bubbles. Just notice a little bit of mica there. That's fine. Okay. Okay, those will slowly change over the next couple hours. So we're going to leave them there to cure, and we'll be back for the demolding in several hours. Okay, and we're back for the demolding. So as I said, I've not tried this specific technique, so it's going to be a surprise on what we get. So they might be good, they might be bad. We'll roll that edge, just get underneath it. They're still a little soft. Could just be from the alcohol that we used. Okay. And I think the technique is solid, but the execution was flawed. I need to go with thinner lines, let that bloom come out. But you can see that 3D-ness that it has. So let's demold the other ones and see how they turned out. It blends in with my silicone mat there. Okay, much better. Also, if we take a close look, you can see the scaling pattern that it makes. Okay, now on to Easter. This back looks a little more purple, but I found that the backs can be deceiving on what they look like. You have something that looks absolutely gorgeous on the back and then turn around and it's not as good. Or the opposite. And this is not a good one. It looks like we have quite a few air bubbles in our first layer. That I would actually chalk up as a failure. I'll still use it, but it's not one I would show the family. But as it's on YouTube, they'll see it anyways. Okay. And last but not least, Christmas. I found it interesting. There's a pool of clear resin on that corner there. Okay. That definitely hits the look we were going for. It's got that, I've heard called scaling. It's got that crackle effect. So yeah, all in all, the process I'm impressed with. I will have to work on my piping, make sure that we get thinner, more distinct lines and more even hand. One thing, even though this one's a failure, that I do like, if you look at how that spread, how it gives a really good 3D effect. So with that, I think we will revisit this in a future video, see if we can get a little cleaner of a design on top. But if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Hi there, welcome back. So I just want to finish off the video with a quick note. This project here, yes, it is not 100% success. Some might say, oh, these are horribly ugly. But you know what? It's the fact of making it. The process, proven that it works now. So we're going to take what we learned in this, and in a future video, we're going to refine that. We will do a video on that dragon scale crackle as well. But we will refine our abilities on how we are drawing with the resin in the flower bloom technique. If you made it this far in the video, even though we didn't fully succeed, thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video. And if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.